In 1993, Michael Jordan retired for the first time to pursue baseball, and with that, the first ever Jordan brand shoe was released while he was retired. Of course, that's the Jordan 9. Now, originally 4 OG colorways of the Jordan 9 was released: the black and white, the charcoal, the olive, and of course, the powder blues. Now, we last saw the powder blues in 2010, and 30 years after it first released, we're going to see it again. Air Jordan 9 powder blue. Now, the shoe is dropping on March 23 for $210. Originally, when the Jordan 9s first came out, it was $125, and the Jordan 9 is actually the shoe that Michael Jordan is wearing on feet for his statue outside Chicago Bulls Stadium. Kind of a weird choice considering he was retired at the time, but it is what it is. And first impressions of the shoe, I'm not like a huge Jordan 9 fan, to be honest. I don't love this silhouette, but the colorway, perfect. Doesn't get much better than this. I love the powder blue, that UNC shade of blue. It's my favorite color on sneakers. And even though the Jordan 9 is not my favorite, this colorway, it definitely is. And the materials on the shoe, it is leather. And I will say the leather is pretty nice, but it's not as soft. And it's also got that kind of coating, giving it more like a shinier aesthetic. I don't love that as much. I like leather where you can see the texture more clearly. This leather is a bit more stiff than like the leather on like the Spizike Lows, the Year of the Dragon ones. That had really soft leather. This one's slightly different, but it's not like trash leather or anything. And moving on to the booty of the shoe, you see this little emblem with the Jumpman with a circle around it. Now, fun fact, the Jordan 9 was inspired by Jordan Brand's globalization. So Michael Jordan really popularized the game around the world. So they wanted to celebrate it on the Jordan 9. And you see that round shape that is supposed to represent like the world, and Jumpman on top of it. Very unique there. And speaking of the booty, this Jordan 9 doesn't have the 23 embroidered that you see on the 2010 version of the Jordan 9 powder blue. The OG version that came out back in the 90s, that actually didn't have the 23 embroidered as well, so it actually matches the OG. And what's also on the booty is this pull tab. Now, usually I don't really love pull tabs on shoes, but at least this one's a bit more subdued where it's like tied to the inner booty of the shoe. And I'll have more to say on that booty, this neoprene type of booty. But the pull tab, not as like obvious as you see on shoes like the Jordan 6, so I don't mind it too much. And moving on to the tongue, a completely black tongue. And this shoe is the first Jordan brand shoe to use the Easy Lace system, and it does really help. And at the top of the tongue, an Air Jordan tag. Now, the Jordan 9s does come with a polyurethane midsole with both a Nike Air unit on the heel as well as the forefoot. And the midsole, a beautiful powder blue, just looks so sleek, nice and simple, just how it should be. And the design of the shoe is actually Tinker Hatfield. He's designed a bunch of Jordan brand shoes, but the outsole design was actually the idea of Mark Smith. And they're just one of the most unique outsoles in all sneakers. So again, like I mentioned before, the Jordan 9 was meant to celebrate the fact that Michael Jordan really made basketball very popular around the world. So you see on the outsole, there's a few different languages. So you see at the very top, there's words, different words on the right shoe and the left shoe, and here's all of them. So on the right shoe, you have dedicated in French, force in Spanish, intense in Italian, freedom in French, graceful in German. On the left shoe, you have sport in Russian, independence in Swahili, freedom in Russian, athletic in German, and hope in Swahili. So over here, you have world in Japanese. So in kanji, that actually works in Mandarin Chinese as well. Not quite sure which one it's supposed to be because it's the same words for Japanese as well as in Chinese. And then you'll see 1994 with like a star as well on this side of the shoe. And then the number 23 at the bottom. So unique, so special, just one of the best. Now, the shoe didn't come with any extra laces. I think black laces work great for $210. Would have loved like a set of extra laces, but black laces, just the way it should be on this shoe, looks great. And it is a Dreamcell insole with Nike Air branding. Box of the shoe, pretty standard, Jordan box. Now, in terms of sizing and comfort, I'm a size 9.5, true to size. I do have wide feet. For Jordan 9s, I stick true to size. I think it fits pretty well, even as a wide footer. The inner booty really wraps around your feet. It's really snug. I really like that feature, like on the Flight Harashis as well as the Jordan 7s. I just really like how it feels. So for you wide footers, I still recommend just going true to size. In terms of the overall comfort, I think like around your feet, the way this booty wraps around it, it feels very nice, but I don't know, it feels kind of bulky. It's not like super comfortable. You feel pretty flat to the ground actually, which this being a basketball shoe is not too surprising, but overall, I think there's more comfortable Jordan brand shoes, but it's still better in my opinion than like the Jordan 1 or definitely the Jordan 4. So in terms of comfort, Average, maybe a bit above average compared to the other Jordan brand shoes. For casual use, it'll definitely work. And that brings the total sole score of the Air Jordan 9 Powder Blue to 30 out of 40. A pretty good score compared to other general releases. Now first, it's colorway. And this is one of my favorite colorways. This powder blue with a white sneaker with some black. Yeah, it is just right up my alley. I love it. You can see the blue on the lining around the leather as well. Oh, this is just one of the best, one of my favorite. And in terms of the materials, I think the leather is pretty nice, but it does feel slightly harder. You might need to give it more break-in time. It's not as soft as shoes like a lot of Jordan 3s or women's exclusive Jordan 1s, but overall decent materials. In terms of the comfort, I think for my feet, it's fine. I really like that booty feature of the Jordan 9s, but in terms of like the weight, the overall feel and bulkiness of the shoe, it's not my favorite, but it's still way better than like the Jordan 4. Just casual use every day, no problems at all. In terms of the versatility, obviously a very, very boot-like looking shoe. It's not for everybody. Some people like this look, some people don't. For me, I think it's pretty versatile, but not as wearable as like the Jordan 1s, 3s, 4s, 5s even, maybe similar to 5s. But yeah, it's a high top. I think low shoes objectively are a bit more wearable than high tops. And in terms of the wearability of the colorway, super easy to wear. Just white, powder blue, black, nothing too loud, nothing too bold, nothing like that's super out there that only some people can pull off. So overall, in terms of wearability, I think it's pretty good. I will say it still is a pretty basketball looking shoe, even though Michael Jordan never actually wore it. He was retired. He actually wore the Jordan 9 when he was playing baseball, obviously kind of modified. But I think for casual use, it does have a more retro look. It's not the worst. We don't get to see Jordan 9s come back very often. I think the last Jordan 9 to release was the Jordan 9 Fire Red. I might have been the only person in the world to actually like that shoe. And even though I'm not a huge fan of the Jordan 9s, I still think we need to bring back the Jordan 10s. Please do that. However, I'm glad they did bring back my favorite OG Jordan 9 colorway. So that's it. Thanks for watching. Sole Inclined. Let me know what you think of the Air Jordan 9 Powder Blue. Like, subscribe, comment, all the good stuff. And remember, tomorrow may never come, so wear your shoes.